Hi everyone, welcome back to the Velvet Lounge Life. Raise the roof. Thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate it. We are creeping up on 2,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. We have almost 200,000 views. I really appreciate it, and thank you guys for watching the videos longer. So thankful, and just let me know in the comments what you like about the content so I can do more of that, because obviously I am here to serve you and to document this for future generations. So look at this beautiful beach scene. It pretty much says so much if you actually look at it in deep, dark detail. Everything from this whale here in the background to the ship, sailing ship, like there's so much going on. The building, you can kind of try to figure out when this was from looking at the stars on the flag. Of course, there's advertising, always advertising. But thank you guys once again, like I said, for watching these videos. We do have playlists. So on our playlist, things are sectioned off. So if you're interested in vintage, antique, oddity, costume jewelry, there's one section for that. Ephemera, of course, junk journals, there's a section for that. Button collecting, histories, values, whatever, there's a section for that. And the list goes on. So please check that out, and it'll also let you see exactly what you want to see versus having to look at everything. And like I said, subscribe, watch, give us a thumbs up. But in the meantime, we're going to get into this book and take a look at what these pieces are, where they came from, the sources. We're going to read a little bit of what's on some of these and take it from there. So, wow, look at this cigar label. It's large, it's in charge, it's beautiful. It has nothing negative as far as iconography in it. It's just this cute lady lounging about. It almost looks like India in the background, which is weird. But the fact that this says Habana lets us know that this is definitely a Cuban cigar. And this says Appel Paris. So maybe that's where these were exported to. But really beautiful, nice big ad as well. And then here we have this lady in a traditional costume outfit with a lute, playing her gorgeous tunes and all these little tiny shells that are beaded onto the end of her skirt. Obviously, when she moved, would have made some music. We have, once again, the obligatory, definitely beauty trading cards again. So that tells you whoever owned this book previously, or this junk journal scrapbook, was definitely a female, because there were so many like these little cards like this. And these cards actually had sports figures, nature scenes of all categories of nature. Some had boats and ships. Later on, some had different types of like vehicles. And then there were, some that had animals. The list goes on and on. But this book seems to have a lot of these like beauty and actress cards. So each one of them, which is, and look how clear Estelle Clayton's name is, Annie Lewis here, have the actresses' names or the models' names on them. So once again, as I've said before, research can be done to maybe figure out who these people were, what happened to them, etc. I'm trying to be nosy, see what's under this card. This is really thick cardstock. I can't see anything under it, but I'm looking just here under the perimeter. Not to say there's not something underneath or up there. And all these little cutouts are here, and this says use only Warwick Friars special brand pure olive salad oil, which we actually just call it olive oil instead of olive salad oil. But what a pretty scene. It's like one of those peekaboo greeting cards or postcards where you look and there's a scene like inside the decoration. I love these. And these are just, look at the buds. So pretty. Is this raised? No, it's not. And then we have a little baby here that's advertising for Holyoke Electric Company. I assume that's Holyoke, Massachusetts. And once again, same card, but just a different scene, advertising this special brand of olive salad oil. And right here we have this little vixen, and it says, why don't you use Boyd's menthol cream? I don't know. How strong is it? Is it like Vicks cream? I don't know. But anyway, little kid advertising again. They definitely put those children to work, whether it was using, this is almost like a photographic image, or obviously these kids are artist renderings or whatever. And then here we have, like I said, these two, and this actually says summer and winter. And here it says copyright 18, I think it says 64, and it has the name of the company here, and I believe it's out of Massachusetts as well, from what I can see, without putting my face right on top of it. And then here we have some beauties, you know, eyes in the, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And this actually looks as if whoever owned this book previously actually did the watercolors for these bits, and they added that special Victorian era glitter to this. So if you see that on greeting cards and such, that's one way to date them, because it's a very specific glitter and it has a very specific color. It's not really gold. It's almost, it's really hard to describe. It reminds me of like a dirty gold. That's how I like, or even a fool's gold. But then once again, we have some weird dude here, and maybe that's his missus. Once again, whoever owned this book did a little artwork. And this is advertising the Union Pacific Tea Company in New York. So that's what this, so this may be Coney Island, perhaps. And then we have this hunting scene, which appears to come from some sort of greeting card with this little doggy. This makes me want the Christmas holiday. But we love Halloween for numerous reasons, birthdays and the like. And so that has to come first. But that makes me long for it. And this is saying that whatever this was on, that it was 5 cents each. And it was tobacco. I don't know what it was, but could have been little cigarettes. This is such a pretty, like, there's no way to appreciate how pretty this little rendering is here. Once again, it's, you could tell these cards came from the same box or stock or whatever. But the colors in this are so brilliant. I mean, you almost feel like you could touch these flowers for real. And over here we have, this is not my favorite. It's fine. It's just a thing. I guess a page filler. But then we have Fan Con, banquet lamp. So they're obviously advertising these lamps. And it talks about being gold plated, beautifully decorated, blah, blah, blah. It stands 26 inches high, which is a really good height as a matter of fact. And this has a name on it here, but it says whoever created this, it says I think it says Durcell Company Lith, meaning this is a lithograph, Chicago. And there are a lot of lithographs in this book, just to let you know. I saw this little pink bit. I was like, what is this from? It obviously came from her coat right here, unfortunately. We'll leave that tucked in there so it doesn't get lost. Wow, this is really pretty. Ooh, and it's okay. I think, is this a rendering? No, I think this is a card. So this looks like it's a heart-shaped card. And then what the user did is they had this angel, which they pasted on top of it. That's really pretty, though. You know, so Valentine-esque of the era. And then here we have the Loney Building. Once again, we're talking about the World's Columbian Expedition, aka a World's Fair, which, as I always say, I wish we had again. I don't know why we don't. Can you? It would be like the Olympics of commerce. And then here we have, actually there's two of them, trade cards here. This lady is Julia Nielsen, this one right here. And then this gorgeous girl in the middle with this absolutely just beautiful carpet coat that she's wearing. It's so in this where you see the wrinkles, that's all raised. It's all embossed. Ooh, even the little decoration that's on it. Not here, but here, here, and here. But all of these wrinkles are 3D or 2D maybe. Wow, and she's just so pretty. I wonder what she was advertising. And of course, I'm not going to go too far trying to lift anything here simply because there's already a piece that's cracked off. So we'll move that up. And then we have, this just says trademark, and of course, Cycle cigarettes, manufactured by the American Tobacco Company. And then as we know, tobacco was used for many reasons, obviously pleasurable, relaxation type of thing, but they even subscribed or prescribed cigarettes or smoking, usually out of pipes, to asthmatics or people who had lung issues, because they believed that if they added some menthol or other roots and things to the tobacco and you smoked it, it would heal you. Obviously, we know that is a complete opposite of what you should do if you have lung issues. And let's see what's on our next page. Ew, look at that. Something's flipping over. I love it. So here we have St. Valentine's. Like I said, I think these are like cards from a game. Cozy Corner, My Fair Lady. That's way before that play or movie came out, so that's kind of cool. And then we have another, that caffeine stuff again is being advertised. It says it touches a spot and the pain is not. So there is tale that if you have a headache, for example, and you don't have access to aspirin, to drink a highly caffeinated coffee, not all of it, probably like, 6-7 tablespoons of it, and that might relieve your headache. I've tried that before and it did not work for me. But anyway, here we have this cool ad. It does say copyright 1899, safely guarded by this little sheepdog. Make sure you guys can see that right here. But then the cool thing is I can flip it over and it says a Venetian girl, Cliffs of Grand Mon. So where's Grand Mon? Ironically weird that you flip it over and this is what you see. This is probably from the late 1790s. Usually when you flip things over, it's a surprise. It's something really pretty. It's mechanical, unusual. So to see this very plain lady there is very odd, but choices. And then over here we have an ad for corks. Oh, and this is actually made out of cork. Oh my goodness, that is so cool. It's like the thinnest. I have to be really careful with this. Oh, shit. Oh, excuse my French. I cracked it a little bit. There's nothing on the back of it. And so this is an ad for the cork, and here is your actual sample of the cork. And it says what you wouldn't pay to use them. And whatever words are in here. Once again, trade card, little snippets. And this says military. This guy is definitely dressed. It's two guys here ready to go. This is cut out from a card. And weird looking picture of the little girl with the snowballs. Another trade card. This one says George Hawley. So my assumption is, and you could tell it doesn't really have a bosom. So this may be a man that is dressed as a female. That was a very common thing back then, is to use men to represent females in plays and other productions. This says Buford, so apparently that's the artist rendering from Buford. Ooh, that's really cool. So look at this right here in the corner. We have this envelope, and these are not real tickets. C4 Orchestra, good only tonight, retain this check. I don't know what this is advertising. It does have some really light text on here, and something that's written at the bottom that's backwards. And I think this says 50 cents, but yeah, I don't know what this is. Oh, and there's another one on this side. Oh, this one flips up. Let's see if we see. Oh, there's lots of writing on the back of it. What does it say? I can't tell. Because I would have to be upside down and backwards to read that. But that's so cool. I can't wait until later when I can kind of flip this one over safely to see what it says on the back of it. But there's a ton. Text is wall to wall. There's a circular font thing going on in the middle. This one is a New Home Sewing Machine Company ad, and it has a whole bunch of places here: Orange, Mass, New York, Boston, Mass, Chicago, Illinois, St. Louis, Missouri, Atlanta, Georgia, Dallas, Texas, and San Francisco, California. So they were selling all over the place. And I don't know if you guys know that Singer Sewing Machine had its finger on the pulse of monopoly on the sewing machine world. And then after all of the competitors ganged up on them, they all, including Singer, came to an agreement that they would split the wealth, because obviously sewing back then is similar to drinking water now. You had to have someone you knew that could sew, because people couldn't run out to the local Macy's, JCPenney, Neiman Marcus, Target, or whatever, and pick up a replacement whatever type of garment, or even if it was a sheet or something in their house or a pillowcase. It wasn't affordable. So what they would have to do is be able to sew. So just like every house practically probably has a stove range in it today, every home similarly would have had some sort of sewing machine or someone who could hand sew really well. So I just thought it was a bit of interesting history. And so they all came together and they decided to split the whole situation with producing the machines, and Singer allowing other companies to still be around versus going out of business, et cetera, et cetera. I think that there may even be a movie or I know that sounds weird, but a movie or a documentary about that somewhere. This is Cleveland and the White House. So obviously that was Cleveland, who was president at some point. Didn't make a lot of positive changes, obviously, but do they? Do they really? And then here we have a band playing. These are really pretty cutouts as well. Here it says Between the Acts, and Alice Greenway is the actress here. And look how fancy this tobacco card is. All tobacco cigarettes. Another tobacco or trade card. And usually these were in tobacco packs, you guys, when we talk about these trade cards. And we have more sewing machine ads from the same company. So this is obviously their thing, is the beautiful scenes, the flowers. Here's another, I have the hiccups, another one that's done in landscape instead of portrait. It's a pretty picture of this lady. There is a little bit of text down there. We have this, it says biscuit strength containing 10% somatose dry extract of meat. So, and it says that it's for people who are convalescent. So obviously sick people, they would suggest that they would eat these biscuits, which would be different than obviously consuming Bovril, which was a liquid. So you can have your Bovril and you can have your somatose biscuits, and hopefully it would be enough to get you nice and strong and back in the factory working, or in a field. And then here we have, this is definitely a little girl. They're not trying to hide that fact this time, and which is kind of sad. I hate to know what this child went through. Here's another trade card, and here we have Used Tanglefoot, a recollection. I don't know what Tanglefoot was, but this guy is eating something, and the weirdest of the weird thing is that this is like a mat that's on the table, and it has a ton of dead flies or insect on it. So this guy, oh, I get it. This guy is eating, and all these flies or insect are flying about him. but when he put this mat down, it somehow collects or attracts the insect and they get stuck. I'm not hungry. There you go. Can we just like not have the meal here, or figure out what the heck is going on with this food that we have that many insects flying around and then we're collecting them right next to our plate? Yeah, that's a good way to go on a really long diet. This is such a cool card. She's so sassy, and I love this lace, and of course it's in her hair, it's here, and all this little decoration that's on her outfit, and she of course has to top it off with a rose. And this is a really thick card. Let's see if I can't lift it. And then over here we have this beauty. She's, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And then of course, once again, more negative iconography. Why is that? I know this, come on, blanking effing negative. Aunt Jemima, use Aunt Jemima pancake flour says it has holes in it. So this is definitely some kind of mechanical, or on the back you probably did something, and I don't know. And then it has this bow that is actually going through two of the holes right there at the neck. But I could tell you, folks of color were, they were held captive. Even after being enslaved and free, you weren't free, because if you became successful, jealous, lazy people would come and destroy your business, burn your house down, and these were not people who were of the same persuasion. And then this guy, some people might be, but oh, he looks happy, he looks fine, and honestly, he looks okay. He's not, you know, this representation, which we know, none of us know a person that walks around looking like this. This guy, the issue with him is, what choices did he really have? And that is, to me, what makes happiness, is having choices. So he had to smile and nod. And here, ooh, this is such bizarre coloring. I've never seen coloring like this before for antique ephemera. This is so bizarre. I almost feel like parts of this would like come up or something. But these are sewing needles, so I wonder if this is like part of like the pack or the insert for the sewing needles. That is a possibility. Really pretty images here. Once again, this is a tobacco label. It says OL Swincherlerf something, New York, Wild Rose. More trade cards. This really weird coloring here. It says, my site is ruined, threading those old style round-eyed needles. So apparently, then these say that there are silver spring steel needles. There is a new technology for sewing needles. And this is really pretty with this little girl and a cute little dog. I mean, kind of gross and disgusting, absolutely, that he's on the table with her food. But really cute picture. And then here's a little tiny, like, I don't know. I call these like little medallions, but they would go inside of probably a charm necklace or something. But that's really cute. This is really a nice piece as well. Here's a lady in some traditional dress. Oh my God. Okay, so we're going to stop there because, yeah, there's always that thing, isn't it? Isn't it? But it's history. So, you know, if we don't keep some of these things and, you know, to show people, yeah, this really happened. You know, you have the fantasy makers out there that would claim it didn't happen. You know, to people of various persuasions, from Irish, Polish, Italians, Jewish people, the thing is they can blend, and they did, and some of them hid their ethnicity, and some of them, for whatever reason, forgot the fact that they were treated horrifically. But some of us can't forget that. But it is part of, you know, that's part of the United States. And are things getting better? Sure, yes, of course. But my goodness, can't we get there already where everyone is just treated equal with respect and we can agree to disagree on things without it being a raid on our capital or people getting hurt or the worst part killed, you guys. Literal lives are still being taken. That's the sad part about it. I did not mean to turn this into a political tirade, but we have opinions and there's no need in hiding them. That's the one thing you'll find on this channel is honesty. And my ethnicity covers everybody pretty much. So I adore all good people. I don't care who you are. I do not care where you came from. As long as you're a good person, that's all I care about. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, leave any questions that you have or comments down below. Also, check out the description of this video. And I will also link the other videos that go through this book so that you can see everything up till this point. The next time we continue, it will be from here on. From what I can tell, we probably have 3 or 4 more videos of this series. And guess what? Oh my goodness, there are some button videos coming, you guys. Antique and vintage collectors, as well as people who want to resell. I really don't get into the reselling of them. I'm more into the collecting and the history of them and describing what they are. So thank you. Enjoy your day. Be well and help us out here on the channel. And those who have helped, thank you so much. I appreciate it.